Um, Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you to all the people who are here today, especially to all the mentors who are here, especially Dr. Govan for his continuous guidance throughout this project. I also want to say thank you to my teammates, Srivats and Eli, for always having my back. And lastly, thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Brenda, for giving us this platform to share our ideas. So here is our project. After a lot of brainstorming, my team and I decided to tackle a problem that we are all familiar with. And I believe that everyone here have a first experience with this problem, which is traffic. According to Business Insider in 2018, Los Angeles ranked 6th most city with the worst traffic nationwide. And so this project began as an initiative to easing the traffic in LA. And as we have learned in this class, human-centered design is about understanding the root of the problem and how we can find the solutions to the people that are dealing with that problem. And so with that, we designed our challenge to be more specific, doable, and personal for us. And so while we wait for Elon Musk's Hyperloop to solve the traffic, we, as students, we are partaking in easing the traffic around our campus, Cal State LA. And as you may not know, Cal State LA is surrounded by 2 freeways.
The target market for our project will be Cal State LA college students. As we dive more into this problem, my team realized that there are other problems closely related to traffic congestion, such as the cost of mode of transportation, reliability and safety, and the volume of cars going to campus and how it affects the parking convenience. So we started to ask ourselves, what efforts can we do as students to partake in easing traffic? How might we design something that will alleviate the inconvenience caused by this problem?
With our research and interview with various Cal State LA students, we designed our project with the following requirements. Our mode of transportation has to be low cost, which will make it practical. It has to be reliable and safe for our users. And lastly, convenience of parking on campus. Currently, the market is saturated with ride-sharing services such as Uber or Lyft. However, they do not clearly address the issues of easing traffic congestion. And there are ongoing issues regarding fair compensation to the drivers.
With the given problem, we decided to create Rider. Rider is a mobile application that provides an alternative mode of transportation that is affordable, reliable, safe, and convenient. It is a carpool matchmaking service that aims to connect students with other students going to the same destination. So whether you're going to school or going home in the same area. And so you may ask, how is Rider different? How is Rider unique from all these other companies? Well, let me tell you why. Rider is different in a lot of ways. Firstly, Rider is a carpooling initiative, which is not the usual ride-sharing service that you see on the streets. As you see, drivers from these companies are roaming around places and they're looking for passengers. And with enough volume, it will inevitably contribute to traffic. And so in a way, they operate like a taxi company. On the other hand, Rider is a carpooling initiative, which, by the way, our drivers are exclusively students. So our drivers are going to a destination regardless whether they have passengers or not. Our goal here is to make every trip efficient and to reduce the number of cars that are on the road.
Another advantage of Rider is that it is more affordable and practical for everyday use. And it is a way for students to help each other financially. How so? Based on our research, drivers associated with other services are getting 20% less than what they should. We do not want to dive into more details of this issue, but it all boils down to inconsistent commissions that the big companies get from the revenue. On the other hand, in Rider, our drivers get 90% of the revenue, while the other 10% goes to the development and maintenance of Rider.
Rider is reliable and safe, and the more students that use our services, the more reliable Rider will be. Unlike other ride-sharing services, when you use Rider, you are guaranteed that your driver is not a total stranger, because the person is a Cal State LA student just like you. Rider utilizes something that we term peer-to-peer approach.
Rider is also addresses the parking issue on campus by providing a real-time visual feed of available parking spots throughout campus. With our best case scenario, rider drivers will get specific, convenient parking spots on campus that will surely promote carpooling.
Ryder is not an attempt to compete with other existing companies. Ryder started as a carpooling initiative to reduce traffic while connecting students and ultimately build a community. The whole concept of Ryder is to really just create an alternative mode of transportation that will serve beneficial to society as a whole. In Ryder, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to make transportation more accessible, affordable, and of course, traffic friendly.
Here are the features that we will implement with Rider. Rider will have three main features. Right now, schedule a ride, find a parking. And as you can tell, these names are very intuitive and our interface is user friendly. Let me show you some quick scenarios how Rider is the best alternative mode of transportation. Imagine two students, Eli and Srivats, that's me. Both of us are students at Cal State LA and we commute from the same area. But let's say we don't know each other. Eli takes the train every day to campus while I take the car, that is, I drive every day to campus. One Monday, Eli takes the train to campus and that breaks down when it reaches his station. Now, Eli has two options. He can either wait for the next train, which is half an hour down the line, or else he can take ride sharing services such as Uber or Lyft that is expensive during rush hour. Eli remembers that Rider has a feature exactly for this right now. Right now allows Eli to notify available student drivers like myself within his range to request a ride. Luckily, that day I'm willing to give a ride to another student as some extra cash is always welcome. As you can see, Rider has a simple and intuitive interface that allows users to be picked up at a specified location. Rider is really good for me as a driver because it lets me know if a pickup is convenient. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is whether the person requesting the ride is 2 to 3 minutes away from my range. And after that, Eli will also get notified if he has to move a bit in order to ensure efficiency of our service. As you can see over here, Eli has gone ahead and accepted a rider, and you can see that the map has updated to show that his ride is on the way. Let me show you another scenario. Imagine Ralph's parents drive him to campus every day. But one morning, a situation arises such that his parent couldn't drive him to campus that day. He has a test that morning, and if he has to take public transportation, he has to take two buses, which is costly and also time consuming. But guess who else has a class that morning? Any ideas? This guy. I am willing to share my empty seat and extra cash is always welcome. Rider has a feature exactly for this situation. Schedule a ride. As the feature name suggests, Ralph can schedule a ride ahead of time and our application will assign him a student driver who will pick him up at the given time and date. So once you have submitted your request, a student driver accepts your request and you can see their profile. Another feature we're implementing is where you can see other students who have requested a ride. As you see, my profile has come up because I've decided to give him a ride and other students who want a ride are also being shown up on the bottom.
The last feature the Rider has is Find a Parking. Find a Parking feature provides users a real-time visual feed of the different parking locations on campus. Cal State LA currently has 8 lots and structures that students and staff can use. Find a Parking feature also uses geolocation and notifies drivers how many parking spots are available in the nearest parking structure or lot, which makes it more convenient for our student drivers to find a parking spot and avoid tardiness. Now, this is actually my favorite feature because it shows you the exact spot where you can park. Of course, green means that it's available, red means that it's not, and blue is for people with disabilities. I like this a lot because it shows you available parking spots in the lots or structures without actually having to go there.
As mentioned before, Rider would get more reliable as the volume of our users increase. Success for Rider is being able to build a community of Cal State LA students from different areas. It's like knowing that you are not by yourself in your journey, literally and figuratively. It is the idea of connecting students to other students in their respective areas, which can lead to a more meaningful connection. And so this is how we plan on implementing Rider. First is the application development. First, we will use a flexible and scalable database to store our student information. As you can see here in the middle, that is to address privacy. Then we will use a separate real-time database to handle all the entries from the feature right now and schedule right. And if you see on your right side, it's another real-time database that will handle all the changing sensors for the parking spots. Simultaneously, sensors will be made by Cal State LA students. We are planning on partnering with our peers in the mechanical and electrical engineering department to create a prototype of these parking sensors to be used in the parking spots. In Rider, we believe that the more students we involve in our project, the more meaningful our results will be. And the more we involve students, the more they are likely to support Rider. And so once version 1 of Rider is out on the App Store, we will do promotions and then advertisements. We plan to build our foundation in Cal State LA because after all, our goal is to ease the traffic around our campus. And if we are fortunate enough, we would expand on the nearby colleges and universities and even scale nationwide. Rider is in its beginning phase, and I know some of you may have questions on the back of your head, or you may even be wondering about what is your specific formula about the pricing? How will you address surges? How would you screen the drivers? And what about women's safety? Well, we have thought of that as well, and we will address them in the future. With our given niche market, Rider has a lot of potential to grow. Having another option when you're in a similar train situation like Eli, or you're in a similar parent situation like myself, you would want to have as many options as you can, because the more options our students have, the more power they have in choosing what is best for them. Rider will provide our students an affordable, reliable, safe, and convenient college commute experience. And so, what are we waiting for? Let's make Rider a Cal State LA thing. Thank you so much.